We are now recording. So, Libby, take it away.
Sure. Well, it is absolutely my pleasure to introduce Miss Kimberly Scott, whose enthusiasm is contagious and is just completely inspiring. Every time that we meet, I'm just like, yeah, after I leave. So watch out for her for president someday, I surely hope. But here is a bit of her about her. Kimberly Scott is the president and founder of Moving Us Forward Incorporated. And Moving Us Forward Incorporated is a nonprofit focused on being an advocate for disadvantaged minority communities and supporting them moving forward to a better future and legacy through education awareness, economic empowerment, health and wellness, and social justice consciousness. Moving Us Forward Incorporated offers a variety of resources like workshops, forums, conferences, partnership opportunities, and scholarships to equip individuals moving forward. Kimberly Scott is second vice president of the League of Women Voters in Frederick. She served on Maryland's League of Women Voters State Board as action co-chair and has been a member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority for 30 years and serves in the sorority's Frederick County alumni chapter. Kimberly's professional background is as a human resource manager for Sodexo Marriott for 17 years, and she is committed to being active and engaged in her civic responsibility to her community of Frederick, Maryland. She served on the education ministry for 6 years at Hope Christian Fellowship Church in Adamstown, Maryland, where she's a dedicated member. She's been married to her husband, Astley, for 18 years, and they have two children, Astley Henry Scott II, 16 years old, and Ashley Margaret Scott, 15, and the baby Shih Tzu, Pepper Scott, 7 years old. And Kimberly loves spending time with her family and extended family, planning events, traveling, cooking, collecting stamps, and playing golf. And so it's my absolute pleasure now to hear from Miss Scott.
Thank you so much, Libby. Let me go ahead and put my timer on too, so I can make sure I'm conscious of that. So I'm going to go ahead and start mine as well. I want to thank the board members for having me as your speaker for April for Food for Thought. And I'm just overwhelmed. I really am. I'm overwhelmed tonight because I believe things happen for a reason. And when I approached Libby regarding my organization, it was as if I've known her for years. The conversation was just like that. And being a owner in Common Market, I love the store. So glad you guys opened up on the 7th Street, even though I'm over here on Buckystown on the other side. But I do go over there, larger store. So I want to thank you guys for that. But when I was thinking about your food for thought, and I know you have different type of speakers. When I think about food for thought, I'm kind of thinking about it in regards to what my nonprofit does, because food, you can look at food in different ways. Food is something that we eat, that can be a nutrient to give us energy. It can be, food can be thoughtful things that we put in our mind to keep us healthy in our mind and in our spirit. And so, Moving Us Forward, Inc., we are definitely about moving people forward and giving them the tools and resources that they can use to move forward in life. This vision of Moving Us Forward, Inc., it came during the worst period, COVID. Who would have thought I would have had anything happen during COVID? We couldn't go anywhere. We were locked down. We were masked up. We were afraid. I mean, it was just terrible. But that is when Moving Us Forward, Inc. came to my spirit and came to my heart. And actually, it was already there because I was already doing civic engagement in the community. And so it was natural that this was to be birthed during COVID. And so it was looking at my community, my Black and Brown community. A lot of things were going on at the time. A lot of information that I felt wasn't getting to the community regarding COVID. And I just felt that the people I knew, the resources that I had my hands could get to, I just felt like this was the perfect time. And things just lined up. And I tell people that I'm truly a believer in you meet people for a reason. There's no coincidence in life. There is a reason why we meet people. There's a reason why we do the things we do. And so, make a long story short, on June the 6th of 2020, um, January 6th of 2020, Moving Us Forward Inc. was birthed. And so I started the process of working on my 501c3. That was very critical and important to me, being a nonprofit, and that just worked out. And I was able to get that. And then I was like, Kimberly, now that you have all of this, you're still in COVID. How can you move people forward when you really can't touch people? And I was like everyone else, virtual. I'm going to use my social media platform to stay in contact with those that I know can make a difference. And so that's what we started. Our first community engagement was a voter registration table down on Market Street. And it was doing right before we were getting ready for elections. I did it 2 months, like a couple months prior, and it was just my son and I. We were out there. Bring the little ones if you can. They need to see civic engagement at that age. And so that was our first actual activity, and it was civic engagement. And we actually registered 10 people that day. And so it was like, okay, I know I'm on the right track. And so ended up creating my board, reached out to some individuals that I look to as mentors, and looked towards people that I felt were trustworthy in my life. And so anyway, created a board of 8 people, and we hit the ground running. And when I say we hit the ground running, we hit the ground running. So if you had an opportunity to visit our website, which is www.movingusforwardinc.com, you will see some of the things that we've already done, or you can visit our Facebook page. But we've had a discussion, as we call it, a conversation with Dr. Brookmeyer, who we asked her to speak about COVID in the Black and Brown community. And we wanted her to be candid because we knew that there was an issue of Black and Brown people hesitant about getting the vaccination. And we know that it stems from Black and Brown people being treated as experimental guinea pigs, if I would say. And this has been going on way longer than people think about the Tuskegee, and way before this was going on for a very long, long period of time. And so we wanted to do our part. And that's one thing about Moving Us Forward Inc. We're just one organization amongst many that can help lend an ear and touch someone's life to move them forward, because we all offer something different. And so we had that forum. It was very well attended. We, I think, had over 40 people on Zoom to tune in and to listen to Dr. Brookmeyer and all of the information that she gave that evening. It was just such a success. Then, we followed up with a forum where we were talking to candidates about their elections and about, questions that the Black and Brown community had. And let me backtrack and say something. You may hear me talk about the Black and Brown community. It's because the Black and Brown community, for a very long time, as many of you may know on the call, we have just been left out in so many different areas of life. And I feel the only way that we can make amends is that we have to have these discussions. We have to have these conversations. We have to be able to, me as an African American woman, do my part in my community. So I'm not putting that on anyone else. I'm doing what I can do to reach my community and hopefully partner with individuals who want to see other communities of color move forward, because that is how we all move forward. It's not just about one, but it's about all. And that's how I was raised, with my mom and dad growing up in a in an environment in the 60s where they firsthand they knew what it was like, and so they taught those things to my sister and my brother. But getting back to what we've been doing, so as I stated, we've done a series of forums and workshops. We've so happy to partner with the Waffle House. We did a Christmas holiday drop-off drive. We collected over 1,000 cans and filled up a 10-foot U-Haul truck and donated all the cans to the Frederick Food Bank. And that is something our organization will do every year. And this is how, once again, people see the things that you're doing in the community, they want to attach themselves to you. My daughter dances at Urbana Dance in Urbana. Well, she's already said, Kim, count me in, and count the other businesses up there in, because we want to have a box and help you collect more than 1,000 cans for a whole week. Waffle House, they've already asked their 3 Waffle Houses in Frederick to be a part of this. So I don't know how many cans we're getting ready to fill up 3 trucks, but that just shows you that there's good in people. And Moving Us Forward, Inc., that's what we're about. You feel it, you hear it from me. It's because I'm passionate about helping people. If we can only help one person at a time, that is our motto, then we're expecting that one person to help another person. Because if we're doing that, we will see a difference in our community. And I think that will make our community a lot better. It will make us stronger. And the things that we say we want to see, as you're seeing right now, with so much civil unrest, with equality for Black and Browns, for immigrants, for the LGBTQ community. There's so many injustices going on. Women, we're still fighting just to get a wage increase. There's so many injustices and so many parts where we talk about equality. The fight is never over, but the thing that we should understand, we must bond together. We have to bond together if we want to move forward. And so, Moving Us Forward, Inc., that is the foundation of who we are. We live it, we breathe it, we do it. Anyone that knows me, you can ask them. Kimberly has been this way since elementary. In college, when I go back to homecoming, people are like, girl, you will never change. That is me. I'm about public service. Libby told you, I've been a part of my sorority for 30 years. Our sorority was founded in 1913. We were actually part of the suffrage march, which I know many of you know about the suffrage march. And we were actually the only Black sorority in that march. We were actually spotlighted in the Women's Museum for the celebration of the 19th Amendment. And so they did a whole documentary on Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So activism is in my nature. And I tell people it is our responsibility, and that is what Moving Us Forward Inc. will continue to do with one of our pillars, civic engagement, is to help the next generation understand we must continue to carry the torch. You talk about today was Earth Day, and it was so funny. A friend of mine, she sent me a post on Facebook about an African American man. I put it on my Facebook for Moving Us Forward Inc. too, so you might have seen it. I believe he's on the Potomac River, and I think he was inherited like well over 190 acres. Well, anyhow, he was talking about environmental equality because he was saying the waterways aren't clean. And so when we're looking at the different inequalities we have as a group of people, it's just not race. It's in education, it's in, you look at, it's of course we know it's in our government, it's in our healthcare system. And what put the spotlight on our healthcare system? COVID. Everyone's talking about, wow, the disparities. We're not opening clinics in the African Americans, in the Latino communities. They're only in affluent areas where people can get there by a car. How are people going to get there by a bus? All of these things start to come to light when people saw that a good majority of minority communities were not getting vaccinated. And it largely wasn't because they were afraid, it was because they could not get there. It was because the access to the medicine was not there yet. They weren't having the pharmacies in their communities given the vaccine so they can vaccinate their own community. So what have you been seeing lately? You've been seeing in the African American communities, the churches take charge of that. And so my part is to do what I can do in my community. And so I've teamed up with the NAACP here in Frederick. We will be hosting a mayor's forum and an alderman's forum. And so I'm trying to align our organization strategically with companies and organizations who are truly about grassroots effort. Because I believe we have to get back to that grassroots. And a lot of people do not want to get back to grassroots is because it takes work. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's me knocking on my table. That's us knocking on doors. I've been there. I've knocked on doors on All Saint, trying to get people to register to vote. I've worked with Asbury United Methodist Church to see what we can do to get people to vote in those communities. That's what it's going to take. And that's what Moving Us Forward, Inc. is all about. Moving one individual at a time, doing what we can do, partnering strategically with those individuals who have shown that they have the same vision to move people forward. Because if you don't have the vision and if you're not willing to put in the work, my friends will tell you, don't mess with Moving Us Forward Incorporated. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing and what some things we're getting ready to do. So we're really excited. And just to plug this before, Libby, I give it back to you for any questions. We just had our board meeting last night, and I'm so happy that they approved me we will be doing the first time here in Frederick, we will be doing a Moving Us Forward Inc. HBCU College Fair at the Clarion Hotel next year. So we're really excited about that. We plan on having 50 universities and colleges across the country be at the Clarion, and we plan on introducing our students, Black, brown, white, green, orange, whoever, that African American colleges and universities can compete just like any other school. So we are excited. We will be looking for sponsors. So just plugging that out there, Common Market. But we are excited about the feedback. Frederick County Public Schools, I just had a conversation and they're like, Kimberly, we definitely want to talk to you because we want to be a part of it. So just know that I'm like a train. I'm not stopping. And I don't know where I get the energy. My husband would tell you, I get up. Sometimes I don't go to bed for a couple of days at a time. But you know what? I do find time to kind of go, bring it down, Kimberly. I go in my backyard. I look at my garden. I sit in my chair. And that's my moment. So I thank you again for listening to me. I hope that maybe I've kind of inspired you to touch somebody's life who you don't even know. And no one needs to know what you've done for them. I challenge everyone that listens to me on Instagram to touch one person's life this week. Do something small, big, whatever, but only you and that person know. Change somebody's life, giving them a dinner, helping them with something. I don't know. But you know what? If we can do that each and every day, wouldn't the world be a better place? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. And we're gonna be partnering later this month, right? For the Rooting for Connection. I'm so excited.
Girl, I've been plugging it. I've been putting it on my Instagram and on my Facebook page. I am excited about Rooting for Connections. That's what it's about. So yes.
Would you mind just giving us a 2-minute description of what that is going to be?
Libby, did you want to be, or are you gonna talk?
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, you fill in the gaps for me, Kimberly.
Okay.
But we're just going to be partnering up and looking at it. It's for Kimberly's Wellness Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So she has different organizations coming in on Wednesday evenings, and so we have a couple different things lined up. This one we're talking about gardening, tips and tricks, gardening in any space, the benefits of gardening and all these different things. And it, gardening, I put in quotes because there's just so many aspects of what that could look like.
Correct.
And then in June, we're talking about what's a co-op and things like that. And so, and some of the members of the board will be joining, right? Wink, wink, just as a reminder, right? They were so excited about it to talk about what co-ops are. and then looking at different aspects of like how to take care of our kids through these times and provide support. There's a few
Yes.
more. I think we're going through October.
Yeah,
And just
actually
general.
December.
Oh
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
yeah, actually through December. So yeah, so as Libby stated, every other month we're gonna spotlight the common market for my Wellness Wednesdays. I have this thing where I do Wellness Wednesdays and Financial Wednesdays. So financial wellness. So we've also partnered with Industrial Bank, which is one of the leading African American banks in the country. They've already done one workshop, which was Saving and Banking 101. And so they will do another one in May. So with the common market, we are excited about this partnership because when I introduced myself to Libby and I told her what I wanted to do, like I said, it was almost as if I've known her for years because the conversation it was like ease. It was like, yes, we're doing some of those things. And Kimberly, oh my God, we want to partner with community partners and we want to get out there. And that's the thing, I want people to know that the things that the common market are doing. I shop there. I love it. I grew up, as I stated before, where my parents grew up on a farm. So we kind of grew up, eating food straight from, my mom would say, my grandfather's killing that hog. It's going to sit for a minute, but we're going to be getting something out of that hog and eating it. A chicken might be on the plate the next day. That was walking around. So, we grew up like that. So my husband and I, he's from Jamaica. He's from the countryside of Jamaica. He raised goats. So, we're both from that farming culture, understanding the earth, understanding the benefits of the earth, understanding our responsibility to the earth. And, we want to educate as many people as we can about the benefits of eating healthy and try to debunk that myth that eating healthy is always expensive. Because when you really break it down, a lot of minorities really do not go to eating health food because they feel like they're not going to be able to stretch that dollar to be able to pay for a meal at a common market or at a Mom's Organic, any type of organic, Roots or any type of organic store. And so that's an objective that we want to debunk with these workshops. We want that to reign through each and every workshop that we do with Common Market, like I told Libby, is to put that myth down. Because you can go. And I think one of the workshops we're going to do is how to create a meal on like a shoestring budget that will take you through. And she's going to introduce all of the different, what did you tell me? How you said y'all have like little labels in the store, Libby, and you were walking me through that. So like I'm learning as I go, and I shop there and didn't know some of these things. So I'm just excited. Oh, yep, that was my timer. 1 minute left. That was my that was my introduction to that. And so as much as I want to educate people, I'm also being educated. But that's the only way we do what? Move us forward.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Libby, I guess I will zone off, but I appreciate it. I guess you'll get with me. You have
Yes.
to finish your board meeting.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, y'all have a wonderful and blessed evening, everyone.
You too. Thanks.
Okay, become a friend of Moving Us Forward Inc. I want to see 10 or 12 new members at a time. Okay, sign up. See you, Libby.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.